fans, so it's going to be a raw video. We'll see how well it works out. But I'm going to take you for a trip here, Valley Forge, walk along the Valley Creek Trail. Take a nice look at Honolulu. It's one of the things that people don't really get to see when they come here to Valley Forge, but it is part of this area. But let's check it out. This is known as Knox Covered Bridge. It goes over Valley Creek. That's 252 over there on the other side, which connects in over here. And this will take you up into a parking lot that we have right up here on the left-hand side called Wilson Road. Small bathroom up there. And up the road a little bit more is General Sterling's headquarters, where he had his quarters during the encampment here at Valley Forge. But there's a quick look down at the bridge. The Valley Creek was used quite a bit during, even before the encampment. There was a lot of forges down through here. And the forges that were down here along the creek were mainly used to, particular ones that I know of were used for making equipment and tools. We'll see if there's some waypoints down here so we can see where they're at. There was a big one down here and a small one down here, according to my sources, so we'll see if we can find the markers. But the Valley Creek, they do fishing through here and walking the trails. This creek, you are allowed to trout fish all season long, but it's a catch and release because this is part of the national park. You're not allowed to keep the fish after you catch them when you're fishing this stream. And the water here is very clear. One thing they have said about this creek is it has a habit of rising pretty quick. So it's calm now, but if you get a good rain, it can get pretty torrential down here. Again, this is going to be a raw live footage of me just walking along this trail. Things I usually don't do. This is usually stuff that Wandering Woodsman and JP and RJ usually do. Well, like I said, it's something people usually don't see this area when they come here to Valley Forge National Historic Site. It is a nice trail and it goes along the entire Valley Creek. And when you get down to the end, there's also a connector to the Horseshoe Trail and the Mount Misery Trail down at the end, which takes you over Mount Misery, and or if you go the other way, Mount Joy. Now, before the encampment, General Washington brought his people up into the encampment, which is be down the other way. I'm going to be doing more videos on this area as time goes on throughout the summer, but the British came through here and pretty much burned down most of the forges because they wanted to keep the colonials from making weapons and ammunition. So these forges were up along this creek, and when they were starting to do archaeological digs through this area to find artifacts, they found pillars with that were burned in the ground. They dug it up. They actually found it used to be one of the forges that was here. But again, it was the British came through and pretty much burned everything out. There's not much left of the original town that was here. I mean, General Washington's headquarters, which is also the Potts House, is still standing, and a couple of the buildings are still standing here, but we're not going to see that today. For most, this will be a boring video, but it's shaking a lot because I said it's raw, but just something to show you this creek and everything here. It's going to be a calming video. That's Valley Creek Road back there, which connects into 252. And the way that car's traveling, we're traveling, you're basically heading toward Jenna Washington's headquarters, which would be toward Route 23 here in Valley Forge. This trail here is used for horse riding, of course, walking, running. Valley Forge is one of the bigger places, was actually named one of the top places in the U.S. for its hiking trails. Biking, horseback riding, everything through here. Just can't bring motor vehicles through here, quads, motorcycles, anything like that. Bike, walking, running, jogging, and horseback riding. And this creek does get very popular. Even in the wintertime, when we're here in the wintertime, there's people down here every day fishing in the cold water. But again, it's catch and release through here. Hear all those birds. Something I noticed at Valley Forge is that the wildlife through here is astonishing. It's amazing. Some of the birds that are through here I've never seen before. And compared to the area where I live, which isn't very far away from Valley Forge, it's a whole different ecosystem through here. It's like there's a line dividing. This side has these animals, and then on this side has those same animals plus. So if you're into bird watching, that's another thing this place is used for. In fact, on the weekends, there's a foundation, the Lions Foundation, that's part of Valley Forge, that takes people on bird watches or bird walks. And you can see a lot of different things up through here. And a heads up, you see we're kind of in the middle of two mountains here. There's to the left and there to the right. Over here to the right, that's Mount Joy. That's Mount Misery. Now, Mount Joy, I was told a couple years ago by a volunteer. I don't know how true it is, but it's an interesting story to say. Washington, who was very tall himself, he was over 6 feet. He was quite tall for the era. He used to go to the top of Mount Joy, and he'd be able to stand on his horse, and he'd have his binoculars or telescope, whatever you want to call it, and he'd be able to look down into the Delaware Harbor and see what the British were moving in and out of there from Philly. If you travel through here now, you probably can't picture it, but again, all these highways, of course, you know, me being Mr. Obvious, weren't here before, and most of the hills through here, because some of these higher buildings had to have deep foundations, were created by a lot of the dirt mounds going all the way down. So he pretty much had a clear shot and a clear sight down in Philly when he was taking a look at things. But look how clear that water is. But again, it can get pretty dangerous after a while. Those of you that see this in the replay, it's not that big of a video, but it's called. And this is going to be a raw video, just a straight shoot. But there should be a marker coming up here, and we'll see if it's a site of one of the forges that was here. Forges are really gone. About 45 minutes away from here. There's they used to not just that one, but other furnaces like Hopewell would blast the metal, make the metal, turn it into bars, and tools. And those birds is pretty neat. And have the water all dammed up down this end down here. Now, a couple weeks ago along this roadway, you have to catch this area just in time, early spring, April. There's a tree called redbud. Now in the beginning of the year, they actually bud purple. So this whole area up here was just purple on both sides of the roads. The purple has gone away now, and they've got their green coloration to them. It was something to see. Some roads here, but there's a marker up here so we can see what's going on with this area here. Read what this marker says. And this is another trail right here. This is the part of the Wolfinger Trail, which you can pick up down the beginning as well. Some of these trails do go high up in elevation here, and they're not as smooth as this. This is a relatively smooth trail, one of the smoother ones. Okay, so what we're looking at here was the Upper Forge site right here. And there it is right there. There's the forge. This was the site of the forge right here. You can see it's all relatively flat and narrow, and we looked from the other way too. Take you down in there. Got people coming up behind me. But this was the site of the Upper Forge right here. And again, you can see how clear this all is. And we'll get back on the trail. It's hard to picture though that you got all these roadways here and everything that they built in over time. This is all run by wagon and horse. Some things are just hard to imagine. But this is a nice quick trail to come down on. How you doing? Too bad. So one thing to definitely be ready for if you guys come in through here is the poison ivy is alive and well. The bugs are all alive and well. So you guys enjoying this walk so far? Like I said, it's very raw, so I apologize if everything is bumpy. Hey Jake, how you doing? If any of you guys want to watch the replay on this, just taking a calming walk through one of the other trails at Valley Forge that people don't generally get to see. And you just missed it. I showed one of the sites of one of the original fords here along Valley Creek here in Valley Forge. It was the upper one. We're going to be hitting the lower one here in a little bit. But Valley Forge is definitely a prime spot if you guys like hiking, biking, walking, or doing anything. And of course the history of it. Which during the summer here, I'm going to try and do some more videos throughout here on my time off and show you guys some of the other areas through here. Do a complete walkthrough. This video probably isn't the most exciting since I'm just walking down a trail, but it does have the sites of the forge on there. Giving you some history tips and everything too. And again, this trail I started out near 252. And I'm actually heading out toward Route 23, which is what General Washington's headquarters is off of. And that building, according to some of the people I talked to in the past, is 80% original from when Washington was here. And then one of the last times I got to visit it when it was open, there was an old couple in there, and kind of hits you a little bit. The lady touched the stairwell, and she pretty much said, "I can't believe I'm actually touching the stairwell that George Washington touched." When she said that, you didn't think about things. It's kind of overwhelming a little bit. But I'll flip you back around because there's some wildlife over here with some little goslings. See if you can catch them. See if we can put you up toward this bank here. There's some of our resident geese. And it looks like they have a couple of goslings in there. Baby geese. Sparky, if you're still on here, I saw you too. Thanks for coming in. Oh, and you are allowed to have dogs in here too. Pets are allowed to be here. They have to be on a leash. And you have to clean up after your dog. Get over the border, grr. But for those of you just coming on, this is the Valley Creek Trail along Valley Creek at Valley Forge. It's one of the creeks that had two forges on it. And kind of where Valley Forge got its name. Most of the town that was here originally, like I said, is gone. The British destroyed it. A couple of buildings left. How you doing, guys?
Good, how are you?
Doing okay. And I normally don't do these types of hiking videos. The Wandering Woodsman, like I mentioned, JP and RJ. These are usually their type of videos, but didn't have any train activity this morning, so decided to go for a walk and take you guys along with me. And no, I don't have a gimbal, so I'll keep saying it. This is as raw as it's going to get with this video. But look how calm it gets when you don't have any rocks or anything in the way. That tree is actually neat. This is one of the deeper parts of the creek. It's actually a nice shot for a still frame too. And this trail is 1.5 miles.
Time 27 minutes 15 seconds. Total distance 1.0 miles. Average pace 27 minutes 15 seconds per mile. Split pace 27 minutes 15
That's
seconds
funny.
per mile.
I've got the pacer on here because work likes to keep track here when we're doing your health stuff, so I put it on here for the walk and it just came through. Oh, that's funny. That's my my workout app. I'm clocking the time and how far I've gone. We should be getting close to the waterfall up here. The waterfall up here is the site, I believe, of the lower forge that was here. Again, they're all gone, so all you have is really remnants of what was here. It's interesting to hear too, another volunteer back in the later 1800s, they actually had an archaeological find here. They found the skeletons of a woolly mammoth, and they also found a saber-toothed tiger. However, that cave where that was at, they buried it back in with cement. Oh yeah. They didn't want anybody to know where it was because they didn't want to disturb it any more than it was. But this place has some archaeological finds on it. When they reopened some of the visitor centers and everything back up here, and they got all the artifacts out, if they bring it out, they did save, before they buried it back in, a bone from the woolly mammoth to show off to everybody. Because I started digging too, asking people around, where's that at? Had an idea on where it's at, but it was closed off and buried back in. Which I can understand, because when you're at other national parks, you've been hearing the news, people destroying things, knocking things over, things that have been standing for thousands of years, and people just deciding, I'm going to knock it over. Preserve your parks and enjoy your parks. National Park Service is for everybody to enjoy the history of this country. And we're coming up onto the waterfall now. I can hear it. So maybe there'll be a marker down here. Once you guys see this, this will be something I think everybody will enjoy. A little bit more water, calming. We'll sit there for a little bit. And you can get right up to it too. Here we go. I don't see a marker here, but this, I said, was told that was part of the lower. Hey Sparky, thanks for coming in. I appreciate it always. We're gonna get daring. Or stupid, whatever you want to call it. Haha! There we go. Trying to find a marker, see if they have anything set up here. We'll get down on the other side and we'll check some photos out from the other side. There you go. These are hidden gems here at Valley Forge. I mean, this trail is known by people and is used a lot, but people that come in here touring, they don't get to see this trail. It is 1.5 miles, and As you see, there isn't a whole lot on it, but you get to see this if you come on it. And also, you get to walk the trail where some of the forges were at with this town. Well, listen to this. Frederick, how you doing? That sound would put me to sleep. I'd be done. Now, I don't know if this, I don't know the history behind this fall or this dam. So this would be another source that they use for power to turn their wheels to get things going so they can run their hammers inside the forge. Again, I don't know if this was here during that time. Wow, there's fish jumping up in this waterfall. See if we can see another one. Saw two of them. There we go, there was one. And again, those of you that fish, you are allowed to fish this stream all year long. It's just that this stream is on a federal property. It's catch and release. You can't take anything off of here. So basically you fish to enjoy, to have fun. If you go down to the Schuylkill, which is down here, the Schuylkill River is gets dumped into from this creek here. And down there, both sides of the river are owned by the Park Service. There's one. So you really can't catch anything and take it home. It's got to be a catch and release. See if one more jumps and we'll move on, and I'll show you another area here. There you go. I'll come down the other way and I'll let you see the view from the other side. I got to get back past this really uneven, unsteady wall here with about a 10-foot drop because I'm stupid. Hope you guys laughed at that. Again, this was the site, according to the guy that told me, who's very big on the history of this area and the architecture of the buildings of this area in that time, was where the lower forge was here at Valley Forge. Those of you that is just joining, go back a few minutes if you rewatch this and you'll see the site. There's actually a marker for the upper forge. There we go. That's pretty nice right there, huh? So I'm going to try to stand as still as possible because once this video posts, I'm going to grab this photo. Maybe we'll do a shameless plug too. There we go. See my mug there. But Jake, this has a lot of different things. All the buildings that you can see. Right now they're not open yet. They're still deciding whether or not they're going to open. The game has changed a little bit with the new CDC rules. And over here in that our governor here may be lifting all the stipulations during this weekend. But inside here, it looks like there's an opening, which probably isn't used anymore. There is a valve up on the top, but they can open that up to dump more water out down here. And then again, this dam may have been around here during that time because that's all cobblestone underneath there. So this may have been the power source. There's a crane or a blue herring. This may have been the water source to run the wheels and everything, and the hammers for this lower forge down here. And there's another one over there on that side too. These doors may have actually been the points where they let the water in to run down their chutes to run their hammers. And again, I don't know a whole lot of the history on this fall, but I wouldn't doubt it. Well, we'll head back up on the trail. We've only got a little bit more to go on this trail. I may show you one other spot when we get up here to the end, just depending on how everybody feels and how many y'all stick around. And those of you who are on, if you're not part of my page, make sure you subscribe, like this if you like it, hit that notification bell to so I can let you know when I put out new content. My page mainly is about trains, but I also try to do points of interest and things like that. And this was kind of an off-the-cuff live stream since I was going for a walk anyways, and I just decided to show you guys a little bit of a nature walk. On the weekends during certain times, this place can get pretty packed too. You got people on both sides, and when this area was really heavy during the COVID time, there was no social distancing. Everybody was in here. So this trail is going to bank up around the left here, and you have a choice to go left or right, either over Mount Misery or go back out and hit the Horseshoe Trail, which will take you all the way down into Brandywine. Or you can go out the other way to get on the trail to go over Mount Joy. But there's some buildings, some restaurants actually around this whole area, the Plymouth meeting area and everything, because this whole area was filled with British and colonial soldiers. Just closed up last year due to the pandemic, but it's called the Battle Axe Tavern. It's right off of Butler Pike up in Plymouth meeting. It was the longest operating tavern, at least the state of Pennsylvania, and it was actually around during the time the British and the colonials were here. They said that way back then when somebody died, the roads would be filled with dead soldiers along the side of the roadway until somebody came and picked them up and took them. But unfortunately, there's another one of those businesses that closed down due to the pandemic. The building's still there, and they also say it's haunted too. I actually got a tour by one of the waiters the last time I was there. I didn't have the camera with me, but he took me upstairs, showed me the banquet hall and everything. But it's a nice place. But here's another marker here. That's the Horseshoe Trail, as I was saying, and the Valley Creek to the left, like we're saying. Bikes, horses, walking, and running is allowed here on these trails. Now, let me tell you about this little dilly here. This little creek that's right here, stream, runs up a little bit. This is called Cold Springs. And back in the later 1800s, there was a place called the Cold Springs Bottling Company. All that's left is the ruins right now. I did do a video on that. You can see it. It's called Cold Springs Bottling Company. It's up the road. All that's left is pretty much the building, but they used to bottle water there. And in the 1930s, it was bought out by a bottling company that made root beer out of Philadelphia. Not long after that, the whole site was abandoned. They say that there was no known evidence to show that root beer or anything was bottled or made here, just that the company had bought it out. Also in the video, I'll tell you, since I'm here, there's a foundation that's left. It's only the foundation from General von Steuben, where he stayed during the encampment. If you guys don't know who General von Steuben is, he's pretty much the one during the encampment that retrained the colonial army in infantry tactics. And when we finally went back and after the encampment and regrouped in Washington, took his boys and gave them a whipping, the British wasn't facing the same colonial army that they had faced before. They were facing a well-trained army in infantry tactics, shooting, marksmanship, everything. So Steuben's actually buried up in upstate New York after the war in the encampment. He kind of went off and lived in a place up there up in von Steuben. And they have a big memorial for him. Now, if you go up toward this way, you'll head to Cold Springs, the ruins from that. I'm not going to show it to you, but that is in another video. If you guys want to go through my stuff, just look for my playlist, Points of Interest. It'll be in there. Wandering Woodsman Cliff also did one of Cold Springs as well. So there are two of them out there. But that's not the thing I want to show you guys here. So we've pretty much come to almost the end of the trail, but I'm not done yet. Throw this little bonus in here if you guys want to check this out, those of you that are here with me. Just got to go down here a little bit. Something else that you guys can see when you're here. Again, it's another hidden gem that people don't know about when they come visit this place. And those of you that are on here watching, you can come visit it. Now, if you do want to come out to Cold Springs, see that ruin, it's all uphill from this point. We're basically heading back toward 23, and I'll put it back on. This is all hill down to Route 23. Now, to get here, you either have to park at Wilson Road, which is where I parked, or you have to park in the parking lot for Washington's headquarters up on the top, and you have to walk all the way down from Washington's headquarters, cross 23, and then walk up this hill. And that's about a half mile up that way. When you get to the fork on this road, bear to the right. I know it's moot, you guys seeing this on the video, but it's something that if you guys want to check it out, you can check it out. But this other building I'm going to go show you. I'm not taking down here for the building. I'm actually taking down here for something else to show you here. When I go back to get my truck, I have to walk back up this hill. So I still got about another 2-mile walk to go once I get done here. A lot of people coming onto the trail right now too. So this is a building that was here during the time too. It's being worked on. Yes. How are you? Now these two buildings too, they were also here during the time. Of course, you see the cobblestone. People actually live in there. Full-time staff or seasonal staff can actually, if they live farther out, can actually get housing here. There's a big waiting list, but this is the building I wanted to show you guys here. There's something I want to show you on the other side here. And this is right off 23. So I'll show you the building first. Again, another building that was here during this time period. But this is what I wanted to show you. This marker was elected for Elizabeth Grissom Ross. She's the maker of the first American flag. This is a marker erected for her. She's not buried here, but this is the marker that was erected for her here at Valley Forge. But that was her full name too. And this is a court of honor for General Lachlan McIntosh. Now, if you guys come here, you'll see all the different huts, the cabins that are built all over the place, and they're just, you may think they're randomly put around the park. Now, the park, when they took over, did what they could historically to put the huts where every brigade or general had his brigade throughout the park. They're as historically accurate as they can get them where they're at. And General McIntosh Lachlan, his huts are actually across the road from General Washington on the other side of 23. So his brigade was kind of sitting right next to General Washington's quarters. There's another sign here. But pretty much if you went back down the road, I keep getting my hand in the way. But if you went back down the road toward 23, you cross over 23, General Washington's quarters is right in front of you. But I think this is as good a place as any to end this stream. I'm glad you guys came with me. Those of you that are on here, again, subscribe if you're not subscribed to me. Hit that like button, hit that notification bell. And hopefully you guys at least like this. It's a longer video, and I appreciate you guys joining me. But until then, guys, here from Valley Forge along the Valley Creek Trail, I will see you guys down the line. Take care, my rail fans.